Ph261. This is chapter 5, homework problem number 3. There are two forces on a 1.6 kilogram box. An overhead view of the figure below, but only one is shown for F1, and it's given F1 acceleration theta, and it's asking what is F2. So let's list the givens. We've got F1, which is 20 newtons. We've got acceleration, which is 12 meters per second squared. We have theta, which is 30 degrees, but it's 30 degrees here. So if we do 270, then we subtract 30, then we actually have 240 degrees from x. And from here we can take the x and the y directions, and we can split it into F equals ma, of course, for x and for y. So forces in the x direction times mass acceleration, force in the y direction, mass acceleration. So for x direction we have force 1 plus force 2, because there are two forces, we're solving for force 2, is going to equal mass times acceleration. And in this case, it's acceleration times cosine of 240. And then in here, we actually have no y, because force 1 is only x. It's along only the x-axis. There's nothing in the y-axis. So we have only F2 equals m a times sine of 240. And if we quickly take a look at what those would be, then we have 20n plus F2 equals, oh, I forgot the mass. Mass equals 1.6 kilogram. 1.6 times 12 cosine 240, and that equals that's going to be right here, 9.6, negative 9.6. And if you subtract 20 to get just F2 equals, then F2 equals negative 29.6. And let's do the same thing here. F2 equals 1.6, 12 sine of 240. And this one is negative 16.6. And because we know the I hat and the j hat, then F2 equals negative 29.6 I hat minus 16.6 j hat. Now it asks us, what is the magnitude? Now to find the magnitude of this, we have it at some unknown angle, but we have the x direction and the y direction, and we're asked to find the magnitude. So what we can do here is, we know this would form a right triangle. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So c equals the square root of a squared plus b squared. And this right here would be the magnitude. So using this, we can say that the square root of negative 29.6 squared plus negative 16.6 squared equals, and that's going to be 33.9. And lastly, it says what direction. So we need to find theta of F2. And we know the x and y. So what we can do is we can do inverse tan to find this. Now tan is sine over cosine. So if we take the inverse of this, then we would be left with the theta of sine over cosine. So if we know that x is cosine and y is sine, then to find this, it would be tan inverse of sine, which is negative 16.6 over cosine, which is negative 29.6. And this is going to equal 29.28. But remember that these here are pointing, let's see, we're going from the x-axis. So that's this. And our numbers for sine and cosine here were from here. So what we would do here, in this case, is we would take 180, or actually we would take this number, 29.28, and subtract 180, and that leaves us with negative 150.71. And that is all of your answers here.